So, in just like 4 or 5 days, a lot has been said about Ghana football, especially because not mainly because the Black Meteors are going to miss out on the Olympics for a 20 consecutive time. I don't know what you made about all the discussions, especially from our former senior national team players who are saying that football is not being run the way it should be run, especially in a system like we have in Ghana.
Well, thank you very much. I think the problem is when issues like this happen, we sit down and just look at ad hoc measures and ad hoc solutions. It's a systemic thing. And so if you develop an opportunity to sit down, interrogate, do a proper diagnosis of the situation, and be able to, plan and see what sort of outcomes we will have within the short term, the medium term, and the long term. You can't build a national team just by continuing with what we've done, Frefre Kobo. You can't just pick people and put them into a team. Look at the English team playing at the European Under 21 Championship. These are boys who have graduated from the Under 17, Under 19, Under 20, and 21. They used to have people like Carver Lewin, Solanke, and all this in the team, but they have now moved up to the Under 23 level. You know, Foden, Greenwood, all these people were part of the team, but they've moved on. So the junior ones have come in. In the next 4 years, those who are now playing in the English Under 17 tournament will be there. Two, all the teams, all the premier clubs have junior levels. 21 playing in a league, 19 playing in a league. So the system is built in such a way that there will always be infusion of new, younger faces into the national sphere. What do we see here? Who are we depending on? We wait when we have a tournament, we invite somebody here, we call this person from here, put them together to play. We can never achieve results when we continue to do that. It's like we always plan to fail. And that is not it's not responsible enough. So I am not surprised because for how long have this team been together? Can you even say they were the best of our under 23 players around the world? Those days, our boys who played in under 23 have been together for long. You're talking about a team of the Shamokwe's and the Bladekumes and the Pokus and the rest. They graduated from under 17, under 19, under 21 to under 23. So it was easy after the Meteors to graduate some of them into the national team. And when they get to a national level, what are the challenges we have? How can we have a sustainable program to be able to make our national teams under 17, under 19, under 21, under 23 enduring for all the tournaments in the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? If we don't have that, we will lament like this. We'll do the same thing next 2 years. We'll come and sit here. You interview me. I will lament.
Great. And just to quickly before I let you go, we've it's funny we are complaining about football like this because football is a sport we have literally put a lot of money into. And I don't even want to, contradict myself by saying we've not put money into football, but rather we've thrown money at football in the sense that we're not investing. But when competitions are coming up, we get money, want to fund transport and that sort of thing. And whilst we are doing this, we have pushed aside other sports. We have athletics, boxing, literally sports which have been carrying Ghana at the international level, whilst the Black Stars and other national teams have failed to, give us results. How do we make sure that now the next step to envelope all these sports? What are some of those policies? We've lacked policies for sports. What is that next step to which we are enveloping sports and not just throwing money at the wall in football?
You see, just as I said with the issue of the black BTS and the black Sunday, we must have a plan. What is our vision? What do we want to achieve with sports? Sports is not just for recreation and to galvanize all Ghanaians when the national team is playing or when we have games. No. Sports is an industry. And so, do you want to have an integrated industry? What are the supply chain for sports? What are the value chains that you want to develop in order to enhance and for you to be able to get your objectives? Once we do that, then we know what to do. So then we know that the national team or athletics, what do we have to do? Encourage basic school athletics, encourage secondary schools and colleges, get the universities, the university games, the West Africa University Games, and all these games running. The only reason why Jamaica, US, and the rest are doing well in other sporting disciplines like athletics is because they tend to look at the basic, the hatchery, the incubation point where the athletes are nurtured, developed. Almost all the internationally acclaimed sportsmen in the US, in the UK, and in Jamaica, for example, had gone through the schools and colleges, the NCAA, and the rest. But Ghana,
I'm glad you mentioned that, but if you look at our current education system, how feasible is this? Because if we want to do this, we are literally going to tear down our whole education system.
it's the same thing we are talking about. We've drawn an educational system which is not congenial for sports development. Now, I've heard that at the basic level, they do a particular sporting discipline biannually. So that this year when you do athletics, next year you don't do athletics. You do athletics the following year. So assuming you go to JHS and you do athletics the first year, second year you don't do athletics. The third year you are writing your exam. You won't have time to do athletics. So your talent goes off. You get to the secondary schools, it's the same. You go to a university, the university games do not even happen as frequent as it must. So what do? So we are killing our talents. Recently, I don't know when you research, you will hear that there is this guy who has become the fastest accountant in the world. A Ghanaian. I'm just watching the World Championship, and across all the athletes who are competing, I have counted 13 Ghanaians competing from different parts of the world. These are all Ghanaians who we never gave opportunity to. You understand? What are some of the opportunities that we've laid down for Ghanaian athletes? Today, when we go to the University of Ghana, they are doing very well in sports. But they are doing much more at the theoretical side. But no. So, Asimenu and all this, Azameti and the rest people are going out. What are the incentives being given to them to be able to sustain themselves in where they've gotten to? So that, what are the scholarship regimes now? What are we doing? The scholarship secretariat must not be looking at scholarship for only people who are going to do academic work. The scholarship secretariat must be looking at students who also are interested in athletics, so that there can be a motivation and an incentive. How many of the Ghanaian athletes abroad are being sponsored by the scholarship secretariat? So these are the issues we need to look at. Don't just be giving money to people who are going to do biochemistry, by mathematics, and this. Because sports is also part of our economy. If we are really serious about sports, then we will know that we can inject money into it and get 10 times fold. So I have said it and I will say it again. As a country, we are not serious with sports. We need to sit down and plan well and know what we want to do with sports. That's the only way we can. If we don't know what to do with sports, we will continue. Look, today, as I'm talking to you today, Kenya has built almost a world athletics over. That we can have world athletics championship in Kenya. Morocco have done same. Algeria have done same. South Africa already has it. What about Ghana? What about Ghana? So we are not really putting our money where we should achieve results. We are just throwing money into the drain. And that is what I think all of us must look at. That's the only way we can be able to correct this issue of treating sores. We develop a sore, we treat it. We develop a sore, we treat it. Will not help us, because one day and get into the future, it becomes cancerous and we cannot be able to hold it anymore. We need to determine to say that, look, this is what we have done in the past. You can't continue doing the same thing all the time and expect to get a different result. We are not achieving the result because we'll be doing the same thing all the time. Let's change. Let's do it this way. It will take some time, but then we'll be able to build a sustainable program which will yield results tomorrow.